And welcome to Overtime, brought to you by KingsCast at www.kingscast.net. I'm Keith Kornelek.
And I'm Chris Kalazewski.
We're coming off a win tonight against the Toronto Maple Leafs, here to talk to you once again about Kings hockey.
That's right, Keith. Closing out the homestand last week, our longest of the season, with a 3-4 record. You know, we were anxious to hit the road for little change of scenery, and I gotta say, so far so good. Obviously, got the win in Detroit on Saturday, which was, I think, one of our biggest wins of the season. This is a place where we literally never win. Pulled off the win, came back from a 2-0 deficit, and won 3-2 in regulation. That was an awesome game.
It was. It was a little disturbing in the last 10 games, losing 3 in a row. We were starting to go dip into that 9th place. Detroit's starting to play good, finally. And then we come up with big wins against the Sabres, against the Red Wings, tonight against the Toronto Maple Leafs, which quite frankly we should have had anyway. But, which, by the way, I am representing the Toronto Maple Leafs, born in Toronto, so what's up?
Yeah. That's right, Keith. We played the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight in a game. Obviously, we haven't played in Toronto in quite a while.
2005.
And Toronto is one of those teams that we've sort of had a parallel with throughout the organization's history. Obviously, the last time they won a cup was in the 67 season, and that's the same year that the Kings came into the league.
The big difference between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Los Angeles Kings, two teams that have not been playing well over the last few years, the Kings have chosen to build through the draft. Get people like a Drew Doughty, like a Thomas Hickey, Jonathan Bernier. Toronto Maple Leafs have sort of gone the other way, and that's trading picks for assets like a Vesa Toskala, like 2 first-round picks, which could be the first overall for Phil Kessel.
It's a disaster out there in Toronto. What's interesting about Toronto, we're talking about the franchise in the NHL that is worth more than any other franchise, and they're kind of like Team America out there. You have Brian Burke as the GM, you have Ron Wilson the coach. You guys are both in the United States, and you also have a roster that's chock full of Americans. There's hardly anything really Canadian about that team.
So I like where we are, despite the fact that I'm wearing a Maple Leaf shirt, but incidentally, I did have a beer bet this evening with Justin of the Hockey Card Show. The loser of the bet would have to chug beer, so stay tuned for the Hockey Card Show. I'll be looking forward to Justin sucking one back.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing that too. This is a game that the Kings, who are pushing for the playoffs, had to win, and they did. No surprises there. Sometimes the Kings do sort of play down to their competition, but the Toronto Maple Leafs are a terrible team this year.
They are.
I don't think anyone's going to argue that point. Talking about a team that obviously they do have a little bit more bragging rights than the Kings. I know it's been since *67, but they have won 13 Stanley Cups. Of course, 2 of those. One was as the Arenas, and one was as the St. Pat's. But so they have 11. Obviously they have that, but
cup
to
is
me,
a cup.
It's been that long. It's not really relevant anymore.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No, Terry Murray
they barely count.
Barely. Terry Murray, was a little concerned that a lot of these people on the Los Angeles Kings do come from Canada, and they were going to really try and play their hardest, maybe go overboard. Well, 3 of our 5 goals this evening were from Canadians in Drew Doughty, Jarrett Stoll, and Captain Canada himself, Ryan Smith. So, woohoo!
Yeah, I think the Canadian fans actually enjoyed that tonight. They got to see Stoll, Smith, and Doughty score those goals. So.
They had to cheer for somebody.
Exactly. One of our friends online is Jason over at Leafs Fan and Big D. Send us some video clips on this. We're going to go ahead and link that up right now. Check it out.
Hey Kings fans, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Leafs Fan and Big D, host of the wildly popular show on YouTube called The Shootout, where I do the same thing that these guys on KingsCast do, except it's for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I'd normally spend this time talking smack about tonight's game, about how we're going to beat you guys and all that stuff, but have you seen us play lately? I did, however, manage to come up with 4 reasons why the Maple Leafs are way cooler than the Los Angeles Kings. Number 1, back in 1993, yes, it's true, you guys beat us in the conference finals. Although we were screwed over by Kerry Frazier, at least we didn't blow an entire series over a stick. Number 2, yes, the Leafs might have had some bad signings and stuff as of late, but at least we never drafted the likes of Aki Berg or Jason Blake. Number 3, hey, we beat you guys in the Stanley Cup Finals. Well, of course, that was in the movie The Love Guru. I can understand if you never watched it. And finally, Team Conan. He's in on our side. On the bright side, you guys do have a bigger following out there than NBA basketball. Seriously, that is quite a feat. I mean, haven't you ever been to a Clippers game? Best of luck tonight, guys. Although, you're probably not going to need it. But, just for the sake of tradition, I'll close out this segment by saying, go Leafs go!
Yeah.
Interesting, for a big Leafs fan, even he knew there really wasn't too much smack to talk.
No, what are you going to say? Come on, their team's a disaster.
What are you going to say?
Except for maybe Edmonton.
But that's true, they're
Second
bad
worst team
too.
in Canada.
Chris, also in the Kings hockey world this week, there was sort of a big story. Gann Matsuda, who's a friend of ours, blogs for FrozenRoyalty.net, did an interview with Dean Lombardi, as he does from time to time. Always a great read. And he did one on Jack Johnson. And Dean Lombardi made a few comments about Jack at University of Michigan, that he was not well coached by Red Berenson. He didn't really know how to play hockey. He was sort of a defensive liability. But then again went on to praise him later about why he deserved to be part of the United States Olympic team.
So obviously Jack Johnson fires back and was, pretty disappointed at what Dean Lombardi had to say, his GM, his boss, and, said that he handled the situation. He was very irresponsible, unprofessional, and he couldn't believe that he called him out, cited Red Berenson as one of his idols.
But here's the thing though, Chris. Did Jack Johnson read the whole article, or did you just read the sound bites? Because if you go down towards the end of it, Lombardi talks about how he's making all this progress, he's so proud of him, and he's a member of the United States Olympic team.
Yeah, I don't know if Jack Johnson actually read the article. He might have just had a reporter sort of feeding him quotes, which itself could be taken out of context, but
Indeed.
Obviously a disappointed player. You never want your boss to publicly call you out, especially your history, and especially some of history that you're very proud of.
Absolutely. So Dean Lombardi then had an interview, very brief, with Helene Elliott of the LA Times, and said that Gann's blog was completely out of context, and it was a huge mistake thinking a guy would understand that he was giving him background information.
But when you don't establish that this is off the record, then to me it's fresh meat. It's open season on that. That is an interview. He's quoted as saying that. Dean Lombardi even admitted in the article with Helene Elliott in the LA Times that he never said it was off the record. So to assume that is a little questionable.
I struggle to find any blogger or journalist that would not print exactly what Gann printed.
Gann Matsuda is nothing but a journalist. He takes his job very seriously.
Very seriously.
With the utmost integrity, and he would never publish something that Dean Lombardi said was off the record. As an attorney, of all people, Dean Lombardi should know.
That's a good point.
That what you say is going to be quoted unless you state otherwise.
Gann is being very humble about this situation. However, KingsCast is not humble. However, we are loyal to our friends, the people that we respect and read out there, which is why we urge all of you Kings fans to throw your support behind Gann Matsuda, FrozenRoyalty.net. Let the Kings organization know that that's one of your favorite blogs as well, which is why we are now all on Team Gann. So Kings fans, if you're not a fan of us on Facebook, please join us. We have some great conversation going here. And in the last couple of days, something big has popped up. Chris Bond, who is our Dallas Stars correspondent, has now sworn off procreating, I can say that on camera, right?
Yeah, you can.
With his wife on a game day. He says he will not do it anymore because any time that he does, the Kings lose. Now, to me, this is a huge gesture he's made.
Well, it's the ultimate sacrifice, and look what it's done so far. We're on a 3-game winning streak. It's happening. Keep it up because it's working.
Now, I too have also joined in on that with the special dispensation that I can procreate afterwards.
Yeah, as long as they win. It's cool. Everything's cool after that.
It's all good, absolutely. So, Kings fans, our question of the day is, what would you do for your Los Angeles Kings to ensure that they win? Leave your comments, as always, downstairs.
Okay, Kings fans, so obviously so far so good on this road trip. We are 2-0. Looking to bring it home. We have Columbus coming up on Thursday, Boston coming up, and also New Jersey. Got some tough matchups there towards the end of that road trip. Let's get 5-0 and really push our way back into the elite top 4 of the Western Conference, because other teams aren't losing. All we have to do is keep winning.
The world is our oyster. I'm Keith Cornelick.
I'm Chris Kalazewski.
And thank you for watching Overtime by KingsCast.